Now, as we arrive at the midterm elections today, let's take a look at more important races to follow. We welcome in Sophia Cai. She's a congressional reporter at Axios. Sophia, thank you for joining us.
Yep.
So which races in today's elections are you keeping an eye on the most? What matters the most to you?
Look, so first of all, we should talk about timing, but also two very key races are Pennsylvania as well as Georgia. Either one of these could control who ends up taking control of the Senate.
So what are you hearing from Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill? Because they tend to know the way these things are going to shake out before they happen.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. This is really up to voters. I mean, polls and strategists and outside consultants can only do so much. At the end of the day, it really goes to turnout in each of these states. And you never know. Polls have historically captured more Democratic voters. And so, you'll hear Republicans say, hey, if we're within 1 or 2 points, then we're in good shape.
You said polls generally capture more Democratic voters. I actually do know one personal instance, just a family friend who said he's a Republican. Every time someone asks him who he's voting for, he lies. How common do you think that is, though? Do you think that people mess with pollsters because they don't want them to know? Or is this just one weird friend of mine?
Well, there's a couple reasons, right? I mean, your friend is definitely one good example. But also, polls may not always capture, an uneducated voter who just doesn't want to talk to a pollster. So that's one reason, as well as social pressure. They may not want to say who they're voting for. They'll tell pollsters they're voting for one person and then end up voting for a Republican on election day, which is today. So there's a number of reasons why it could turn out wrong. At the same time, over the years, because in 2020 and 2018, the polls were slightly off, pollsters have recalibrated. So we'll have to see how correct they are today.
How big of a problem is it that we may not know the winner today in Arizona, Pennsylvania, possibly even Nevada, and that Georgia is likely going to a runoff, so we won't have a Senate victor in that case, and possibly not even in the governor's race there either in Georgia?
That's correct. So the reason here is because Democrats cast more votes by mail than Republicans, and there are some states like Florida and North Carolina where officials do let the mail-in ballots get counted before Election Day. So that means that Democratic leads earlier in the day may evaporate as ballots come in later during the day. And then on the flip side, there are states like Pennsylvania and Wisconsin where, they don't allow officials to count mail-in ballots before Election Day. And that means that the more red ballots that come in during the day will then be eclipsed, and potentially, it may change the results for the bluer ballots that get counted later. So we already see campaigns starting to issue warnings about this to say, hold your horses, do not call these races. So one example is Fetterman's campaign, Democratic candidate for Senate in Pennsylvania, who has said, look, Pennsylvania is one of those states where it'll take some time, and it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow.
Are they issuing warnings like that to folks like us in the media, or are they telling their supporters, their potential constituents, hey, don't make judgments based on what you're seeing as votes come in, because these votes will need days to be counted?
The answer is both. So we've seen them come in the form of memos, in press releases, and they will be addressed to interested parties. And then it's a warning to us. I think a lot of people also have some PTSD from 2020, with the presidential election. And so the warning is, probably too to their opponents. Don't jump in when it's too early to call.
It will be an interesting day regardless of how things shake out. That's Sophia Cai. She's a congressional reporter at Axios. We thank you very much for joining us on Early Morning.
Thanks.
And remember, tune in tonight for special election coverage starting at 6 Eastern, hosted by Chris Cuomo and Leland Vittert. Election results powered by Decision Desk HQ. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation in your cable lineup. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-based, unbiased coverage.